Hey everyone, Healthy Living Central Florida is hitting the road today. We're going to Clermont to Orlando Cat Café to cuddle up on some cute kittens. Did you know that having a pet is very good for you? Not only does it warm your heart, but it can make you live longer, right? We're here at Orlando Cat Café in Clermont, hugging on kitties and wondering about SPCA adoptions. So stick with us on Healthy Living Central Florida. Right, little buddy? I think his name is Timmy. Hello everyone and welcome once again to Healthy Living Central Florida. I'm your host Gina Horan. Today we're in Clermont at Orlando Cat Café talking to Chief Feline Officer, CFO Sandra Cagan, about all the wonderful things that you're doing with the SPCA here at Orlando Cat Café. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming out and doing this. This is a real treat.
Sandra, let's face it, cats are amazing. We all love kittens and cats, and I know that you specifically love little kitties. What was the inspiration for opening Orlando Cat Café?
So I've loved cats all my life, and my profession is in property management, property development here in Clermont for a good many years. In 2014, the last news story that at NBC Nightly News did was on a cat cafe that opened up in New York. And it was the very last news story on December 31st, 2014. You know how they always do that human interest story at the end of the program. And so that story stayed with me for several days. In 2015, I was turning 50. And they say that when you turn 50, you stop thinking about what you're going to put on your resume and you start thinking about what people are going to say at your eulogy. So I knew I wanted to do something that would make a difference in the community. And so that year in 2015, I started the plans for Orlando Cat Café. We're the first cat cafe to open up in the state of Florida. And the rest, as they say, is history.
So what is your, who is your most likely person that's going to come and check out the kitties?
So I think we basically have three groups of people who like to come and visit with the kitties. First, we have locals who really just like the vibe here. They like the coffee, they like the cafe experience. They follow the kitties and get to know them and who gets adopted and the new ones that come in every Thursday. We have quite a few people that come as tourists that are here on holiday. They miss their kitty at home or they have never seen such a thing as a cat cafe, so they come and check us out, and we find many times that they come back multiple times while they're here in Orlando experiencing the other attractions. They also come here multiple times. And then the third group is, of course, serious adopters, because this is a great place to meet your forever feline friend. You know, in the shelters, because of the space constraints that they have, you have cages, and a prospective adopter will come in and say, oh, I like the gray one, or I like the one with the big whiskers. That's hardly a way to pick your feline friend. So here we have them running in a spacious 1,000-square-foot play area, and you can see how they interact in their natural state, how they interact with other cats, and how they interact with humans. And we always try to make not a match, but a perfect match.
So you were talking earlier about adoptions. What's the role of the local SPCA in terms of how everything,
So
works?
our partner is SPCA Florida in Lakeland, and they are our sole purveyor of kitties. They send us kitties every Thursday with a transport, anywhere between 10 and 20 new cats, depending on how adoptions went the week before. All of the cats are spayed, neutered, microchipped, and up to date on their inoculations. And SPCA Florida has a feline behaviorist on site, so they send us the felines that they think would do well in this kind of environment, because not every feline is a candidate for Orlando Cat Café.
So who is a candidate for Orlando Cat Café?
So clearly we're looking for friendly or felines that don't mind being around other cats and who don't mind being around people. So most cats, I would say, are candidates, but there are some that are too shy, too young also. We really don't like to take them prior to them being about 3 to 4 months old. just because their immune system is not fully developed, and we have other cats here, people here, and so we like to make sure that they remain healthy. And while we do get many kittens in, especially during kitten season, we try to have them be over 3 to 4 months old.
What is kitten season for those that don't know?
Kitten season is in the spring, and unfortunately in Florida it's often a year-round event. People who don't understand the importance of spay-neuter, one kitten can have additional kittens, and those kittens have additional kittens, and the experience gets out of control very quickly. And so kitten season is when the shelters have an overabundance of kittens that need placement.
Talk about your success rate here at Orlando Cat Café.
It's something that I'm really the most proud of. So since opening, we have adopted just under 3,200 cats and kittens to their forever home. And we've had a number of special needs adoptions. We've had many kitties with one eye. We've had kitties who are totally blind. We've had many kitties with 3 legs. Missing an ear. Those are special needs adoptions, and it always warms my heart that those felines get adopted so quickly from here, where they might languish in the shelter or be overlooked in the shelter. Here, they oftentimes go the very same week. But we've had just under 3,200 adoptions
Wow.
since we opened, and we have close to 200,000 guests that we've welcomed, really from all over the world.
So you have a couple layers of people who help take care of the kitties. You have a volunteer program, and you also have full-time employees. Can you talk about sort of the differences between the two and how important they are to running this?
Sure. So we have a
cafe?
group of 8 part-time employees, and then we have a group of very dedicated volunteers that go through the SPCA Florida volunteer program, and they do shifts that are 4 hours each. And we try to have at least 2 people per shift, 2 to 3 people per shift. So the volunteers are involved really in a lot of day-to-day cleaning that goes on here, because when you have a cat cafe, that's kind of the number one priority is cleaning. They help socialize the kitties. They can interact with the guests, answer questions, check people in, make sure people are having a good time. If there's a serious adopter, then that would be something that would be handled by the staff, and then the staff also handles any medical needs that go on. When you are dealing with this many cats, it's a lot like daycare. One kitty sneezes, they all sneeze. One kitty gets diarrhea, they all get diarrhea. So there's a lot of, there are minor issues that pop up during the day, but those are the things that are handled by staff.
So I heard a really great story about how the staff loves to place the kitties with just the right people, and then sort of go on social media and talk about that, which I love. Can you expand on that a little bit for me?
So the adoptions are handled always by a staff member and not a volunteer. So we ask that each guest spend at least 15 minutes with the cat that they think they're interested in adopting. What we find is many times people will see a cat online, and they'll come in and they'll be like, "We want to meet the gray one." But the gray one wants nothing to do with them. And it's the orange one that's been laying on our printer in the back room for the last 2 days and has never been out in the cat play area, that is suddenly on their lap and making biscuits. And the first couple times I saw it, I thought, well, this is like some strange anomaly.
Yeah, phenomenon.
But I see it now close to every day. I mean, it is true that the cat picks the person. So we like to see that there's some sort of a bond that gets established, because it's not always the one that they came in to see that is the one that they end up adopting. So they'll spend some time with the kitty. They'll fill out a getting to know you form. We get to know the cat's personalities quite well, even with a short period of time here. They come with a little bit of information from SPCA Florida, but we can see how they interact with the other cats, how they interact with people. And so by talking to the prospective adopter, we can kind of tell, oh, this kitty, yes, I think would be good with a dog or with another cat or with children, or maybe not so much. So we can kind of help guide that adoption process. And then we're always looking not to make a match, but to make a perfect match. And we're very proud of ourselves that the kitties that we do end up matchmaking with, it works out very well. The alumni updates that we get from social media and then we post on social media really warms our hearts, all of us, because we see that kitty go home, and then 2 months later the adopter sends a photo of the kitty and talks about how they've made their life complete and how well they're getting along with everybody else in the household and how the kitties settled in, and it really makes us feel good.
Did you have a specific story that you can think
I have two specific stories, actually. We had a situation in Hillsborough County with a hoarding situation, a cat hoarding situation, and the rescuing agency reached out to SPCA Florida. He said, we have a 14-year-old cat in this situation. Would you take the cat with the understanding that she goes to Orlando Cat Café? So the executive director of SPCA Florida called me and asked if I would welcome such a cat, 14 years old, and I said, of course. And in the back of my mind, I thought, well, the kitty's going to live here, you know, until it doesn't live here anymore. Like, I didn't think we were really going to be able to make a perfect match for this kitty. So Kitty was here for about 3 weeks, beautiful black cat named Velvet. And a family came in and adopted Velvet. They sent us a message about a month later with a picture. She was laying in a sunny spot in their home. She had gained a pound, which was great because she wasn't a great eater while she was here. And she was, you know, doing great. And about a year and a half later, they sent us a private message on Facebook. It's always hard for me to tell the story without crying, but I will try. That she had passed. And I wrote back to them and said that they had no idea that the last year of that cat's life was the best year of that cat's life. You know, she died in a loving home with a loving family rather than in a shelter or in a hoarding situation. So that story comes to mind. The other story that comes to mind was more recently. We had a totally blind cat who came in to us from SPCA Florida, had a condition with his eyes that caused them to have to surgically remove both eyes. We got him in on a Thursday. We obviously did not put him in general population. We kept him kind of sequestered so he could get used to the noises, the sounds, and the smells of the cat cafe. We had a adopter drive in from, I believe it was Gainesville, same day that cat arrived, to adopt him. And she just wrote us recently saying that she had put him through a therapy cat program and that he graduated with the highest marks in the program, which allowed the cat to do any type of therapy work. And she was now going to work with children with different abilities. And that cat was going to be an inspiration to children who maybe have a hearing problem or a sight problem. And this cat will be an inspiration to who knows how many people. So it's those kinds of stories that really stick out and resonate. You know, it's a real difference that we make here.
Okay, now I'm going to cry, Sandra, because that is amazing, and these are the stories that we love about this type of adoption scenario. Let's get to the particulars of an adoption. What are the costs? What is the program? If you could just let our listeners.
Sure. So kittens are $150. Adults are $100. 100% of the proceeds go to SPCA Florida. Our model here at Orlando Cat Café is quite different from other cat cafes. So 100% of the adoption fee goes to the rescuing partner. And that's pretty much it. You come in, you make a match with a kitty, fill out a getting to know you form. We'll talk to you a little bit, see if that kitty's a good match. You'll fill out an application, and then once that application is approved, which is oftentimes same day, we ask for a couple references. If you have pets at home, we ask for proof that your pets are up to date on their inoculations at home. And if you're in a roommate situation, we're going to get the okay from your other roommates. We never want a kitty coming back to us for a reason like my roommates didn't know I was bringing home this cat, or my mom didn't know I was bringing home this cat. So we want to take away all those impediments ahead of time if we possibly can.
So I just lost my train of thought because I was worried about the rain.
Right now it's just sprinkling, we're okay.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sandra, you had the genius idea not only to name this Orlando Cat Café for franchising reasons, but you also decided to franchise. Talk about that and the opportunities that people may have to franchise.
So thank you for bringing that up. So like I said, we've been here since 2016, and through those years we were asked quite few times, is this a franchise? Because people love the concept of it and love the whole idea behind it. So during the pandemic, I went back to school and I got my master's in public administration from Villanova University. And then when I was done with that, I really started seriously looking at franchising. And so it took about a year and a half or so to get all the legal documents and dot all the I's and cross all the T's, but we are now officially a franchise. We're looking to start in the Southeast United States. We feel that almost every community would benefit from an Orlando Cat Cafe. We really look at this as the future of cat adoptions.
I love that because you can just love up on them and figure out rather than sort of, go somewhere and look at them through a cage or,
Exactly. They really get to show off their personalities and they kind of sell themselves because they can act in a normal fashion other than being in a cage. Like I said, that's not a way to pick a forever family member, not by their color, not by, how many whiskers they have, but to see how they are, what their personality is.
Sandra, for more information on franchising or just the Orlando Cat Cafe in general, where can our viewers go to find out?
Orlando Cat Cafe, www.orlandocatcafe.com, and for the franchise, orlandocatcafefranchise.com.
Thank you so much, not only for doing this, but for being here today, because cats are friends and they make your life very healthy, don't they?
They absolutely do. There have been numerous health studies of the ownership of cats bringing down blood pressure and just making for a more calm environment.
Can you expand on that a little bit? We're going to capture that because I think that's important for our particular podcast, really.
Sure. There's been numerous studies. Mental health, and even here in the cafe, there's so much that goes on during the day. With the advent of all the technology that's out here, people are constantly on their phones, on their devices, on their iPad, on social media, whatever. Here is really a chance to come in, and it sounds maybe old-fashioned, but you sit with a cup of coffee. You relax. Maybe you got a purring cat on your lap. It is very relaxing and very therapeutic. Through the years, we've had a number of customers that have come in who've maybe sadly just lost their cat, and they're maybe not ready to adopt that very same day, but they want to kind of be around the soothing presence of cats. This is a lot different. We love dogs, but this experience here is a lot different. It's quiet. And you can really kind of get away from the devices and unplug a little bit and just relax. There's hardly any places left in the world to do that. Even when you go to the library, it's still all digital there, Right. But here is a chance where you can really unwind. So we've had a lot of groups come in. We had not too long ago a homeschooled group of special needs children. And the teacher was so excited because there was a boy who was nonverbal, and this was the very first time that he had smiled while sitting on the floor interacting with the cat, and that was very meaningful. But it's a relaxing, comfortable, cozy coffee house with felines, and there's been numerous studies of mental health, how it affects mental health in a positive way, lowers blood pressure, lowers cortisol. If you have a cat, you know.
I do. And you also have kitty yoga here. Can you talk a little bit about the yoga
Twice
program?
a week. We have on a Saturday, 2 times every month. We have kitty yoga, 2 different instructors. Those classes are almost always full. And it seems that the kitties really enjoy it as well. We turn the lights down, everybody's down quietly on their yoga mat, and so the kitties come and they kind of join in to the fun. And when they're stretching, it kind of looks like they're doing yoga, so it's very cute. But we have a core group of people who really love to be here with the kitties and love the instructor, and it's just a different kind of environment.
Well, thanks again for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming out to do this.
I know, I love cats. Cats are fun. All right, everyone, that's it for Healthy Living Central Florida. I'm your host, Gina Horan. We'll see you next time.